Okay, after a whole bunch of testing, I now feel that it's a good time to update the Elite Beat Hero deck, or Elite Bubble Hero. This might as well just be Elite Beat Hero, since there's not much of a difference, and this started as Bubble Beat being Elite Beat Hero, so whatever. This is likely to be the last update that the deck will be getting for this format. Evidently, we are within a month from having the game change once again. Hopefully we can proceed into a future without jargon or card destruction, like Plox, Konami Plox, whatever. Knowing Konami's universally recognized slogan, it's probably not going to happen. For those of you who don't know, the universally recognized slogan for Konami is Konami because fuck you. You cannot even begin to imagine how true this is, but that's the lollygagging done and dusted. I'm going to proceed to go on with the deck list now. So we're going to start off with the triple alias. Let's zoom in a little bit further. That's looking a little bit better. Yeah, anyways. Triple alias. Your Shining Food, Gemini, Spark User, Rex Face, 1900 Beat Stick, so you can run over a bunch of stuff or just butt heads with it. I mean, Thunder King's being less and less used, but players will still use it, so, yeah. 2 Bubble Man, because it wouldn't be Bubble Beat without it. Stratos, Hero Staple. If you question this, then seriously, what the hell have you been playing? Photon Thrasher, always handy. I have had my doubts with it, admittedly, but it has put in a lot of hard yakka. Now this one has also been putting in some really good work, and it's bloody awesome. Double Blue Mountain Butter Spy. Now, basically the way that I went about this is I teched one of these in, because it was good. It is essentially a Kage for warrior type monsters. You know, normal summon a warrior type monster, you can special this from the hand, and it cannot be used as synchro material. It cannot possibly be any more straightforward than this. So I threw one in because it was good. I saw a build of Bubble Beat on YouTube. I don't know what the username was, but they had 3 of these in there. So I thought I'd tech in one. It put in a fair bit of work, so I threw in a second. Took out the Silver Sentinels because because for the Sentinels, I was just entering into a format where there wasn't particularly a massive shitload of, like, I was not getting a whole lot of luck with it. I was not seeing it a whole lot. It was really starting to show the bad side of playing one in the deck. So I could still potentially play them. If I manage to free up any room in the side deck, then I can easily side them in, because a deck like maybe like E-Dragons, they usually side the MSTs and then main them and then side them in game 2 and 3. So it would be nice to have the Silver Sentinels there to counter side. But for now, this is basically the new random tech choice of mine for the deck, and I have to say it's been putting in a lot of work. So that's the monsters. Now for spells, Duality. Oddly enough, I actually find myself citing this out on I found myself citing this out on a few occasions in the testing session I just did. I needed that testing session just so I felt like I had the confidence to put this forward and just say that it's put this build forward and say that it's done well. I can definitely say that. Yeah, because it's just good. But yeah, I found myself citing the dualities out on a couple of occasions to cite in additional monsters, which has actually helped me really well. I was dueling against Morphtronics just before, and I cited these out in favour of DD Warrior Ladies, and the Warrior Ladies just put in the work. They punched Power Tool Dragon fair in the face, which is really nice. Then we got Double E Emergency Call, because yeah, you kind of need that. Rotor, because yeah, staple, and Warrior Returning Alive. This is actually much more versatile than even I could give it credit for, because of course you can always do this to get back any warrior that's dead. You know, you can get back your Butterfly, you can get back your Stratos to get another Surge. Top deck this if you have nothing on board or field. You can just grab out a Bubble Man, special it, draw 2. Always could do that. Or if it's really not that handy to you in the situation that you're in, you can always pitch it for a Super Poly. It's really good. Then we got the Triple Miracle Fusion. It's a Miracle Fusion. It's not that difficult to. It's not that difficult to work out why the heck you'd run 3. It's staple. It is probably the best top deck that this deck could possibly muster, unless Vanity Emptiness, unless the opponent has a Emptiness or like Ophion on board. In that case, you're kind of screwed. 2 Super Poly. I wish this was a good top deck, but I've seen, but a couple of the matches I have lost, this has actually cost me that. This has actually ensured that loss because I just top into this and I have nothing to use it with, or I have nothing in hand and I just top into it and it is just completely dead. It is the risk that you have to take running Super Poly because it is a staple in this deck. You can use your heroes with pretty much anything now, or at least anything that would be a threat, so it's not that big, so it's really not that, yeah. But, yeah, like I said, something you just pretty much got to deal with. But you just have to use it. You have to make it. 3 Gem Spark. Now, I did try this at 2 for a little while, and it sucked. It absolutely sucked at 2. At least for me, it did. I cannot feel comfortable rolling Gemini Sparks unless I'm rolling them at 3, unless I'm running a deck that does not like entirely focus around having Alias beat the shit out of everything and then like, or use Alias to stack with stuff. So that's why I cannot possibly run any less than 3 Gem Spark in this deck. 2 MST, because yeah. Then are the Triforce of spells. Just taking a drink. Okay, moving on to the traps, now that I've wet my throat and ensured that it doesn't get ripped to shreds. 2 Hero Blast, so good, so goddamn good. It is definitely, it doesn't always go off, but when it does, it puts in good work. It's easy to chain to opponent MSTs. You can easily chain it to get something to hand. Even if you don't pop the opponent's monster, you still got an Alias in hand and you got plays for days next turn. Especially if you have a Gem Spark in hand, that'll tick your opponent off. Plus, of course, it's good MST bait and Storm bait as well. So, 2 Fiendish Chains. Breakthrough skills are in E-Dragons, so sticking with these. I kind of do prefer these, though, because it stops the opponent from attacking. I mean, yes, Dracossack gets around this by sacking itself, but I have not gone up against a whole lot of E-Dragon decks. I did actually go up against an E-Dragon deck in testing. They were a complete scrub. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. Like it's pretty straightforward to work out. You can only use one effect of each E-Dragon once per turn. And this person tried using Blaster and Tidal for both the search and special summon effects. Yeah, I don't even know. But anyways, double Bottomless, double Compulse, double Torrential, because it's gotten really, really nice. Now, I did have 2 Mirror Force, but I cut it to 1 because because when I had the second Mirror Force, I had Huge Revisova taken out. But I really, really love Huge Revisova, so I kept it in and went down to 1 Mirror Force. And this isn't a bad card at all either. It's actually not a bad idea it's not actually a bad candidate for siding out games 2 and 3. Like if you're dealing with something like a 6 Samurais where Mirror Force isn't going to help you that much when you're dealing with Shen and Barkion. So then we have the counter trap Triforce, I guess. Warning, Judgment, and Huge Revisova. You could. I suppose that there is more of a quartet of counter traps because some people do like playing Dark Bribe over Solemns, which is not bad, but I like the Solemns a whole lot. And Huge Revisova, I just prefer over Starlight Road because then that means I can free up a space for into my extra day, because just by definition, if I roll the Starlight Road, then I have to run a Stardust. It's just I'm just anal about that. So Yeah. Alright, extra deck. 2 Shinings. I think the last deck list video I had 3. I went down to 2 because I tweaked with the Xyz setup a little bit. And that Xyz setup is actually looking really, really nice. So I'm happy to have the Shining at 2. AZ at 2. Gotta have these. Gotta have AZ at 2. It is so awesome. If you want to side one of the AZs and side it in against something that is more water prevalent like Mermails, then go right ahead, but you definitely need at least 2. And Nova Master, Escuridao, Great Tornado, and Gaia. Pretty much just super poly with pretty much anything, and you get one thing out of there. It's a lot. It's just so many fusion recipes. You'll usually get something out of it with a super poly. Anyways, for Xyz, I got double Excalibur. Excalibur is still just putting in so much work. I like this at 2 much better because when it comes, in all honesty though, I will point this out. I've only really felt the need to go into a single Excalibur at any given point in the last few games, and it's the same thing with the Blade Armor. So it is a possibility. I do have the possibility of maybe cutting a Excalibur to 1. Flip that around. But in the past, I have had situations where the second Excalibur would be incredibly awesome to have. So that's basically why I'm still sticking with the double Excalibur 1 Ninja play, because the Ninja, it's just there if you need to put that extra little bit of damage on board, or if you want to get around a whole bunch of monsters. It's like if you're dealing with a Zen Monster 1 overlay unit, you're going to be dealing with it. You're gonna drop this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. For the rest of the stuff, we've got a Abyss Dweller. Just, yeah, it's just kind of there. Maestroke for your defensive option. Crazy Box because open it up and the opponent gets sick. You know what I mean? And I got a Shockmaster in the deck again. I had to cut this out of my Xyz Beatdown deck because I kind of did all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Shockmaster. I went into this in a single game against Dragon Rulers the other day, and this completely killed them. Absolutely trashed them. And it was a competent Dragon Ruler player. It was one that actually knew exactly how to play the deck, but it's just like, nope. Shockmaster says no. So that's the extra deck. Now for the side deck, which has put in a whole bunch of work. 2 Diner, which hasn't as of yet proven its worth because I haven't seen it much, but it's good because it stops the special summons because it's really nice. If it turns out to be useless, then maybe I'll just cut those for the Silver Sentinels. But yeah, Diddy Warrior Lady put in so much work against Morphtronics. I got rid of one of their Power Tool Dragons with this. I also got rid of their Gen X Neutrons with one of this in the same game. So like, I opened with the first one. Gen X Neutron hit this, and they banished, which hurt the opponent so much because they lost their 1800 beat stick. And Gen X Neutron's effect gives it a search for a machine tuner from the deck during the end phase. It wasn't on the board. The ruling states that you don't get the search, so that hurt him quite a lot. So, and then of course, second game followed up after he jacked his thing up with Mage Power. He just slammed into one of these and got screwed over by that, and then I just proceeded to wreck face. To Parallel World Fusion, because Macro and D-Fissure are still things. Mind Control, just pinch stuff. Third MST, for those sorts of decks that need to deal with that sort of thing. Such as the Mortronic deck, because I think the only trap it ran was Royal Decree, so definitely the third MST was handy in that one. Viruses, just the 1 deck dev and the 2 Eradicators. Every time I've cited in deck dev, I haven't really seen it, so I'm considering cutting the Mind Control and going for a second deck dev. So, and then maybe like, if I want to if I'm dealing with a deck that sort of runs a whole bunch of weak monsters and erads, then maybe I'll just side in one of each virus and then just see what the situation happens there. But I definitely think that a second deck dev would be nice so that I can actually see it. Then we have, to finish it off, 2 Soul Drains and 2 Mind Drains. This is good. So that's the deck. The final update, as I said, final update for the deck before going into the September format. I might do an Evil Swarm deck list after this. I'm not too sure. This video actually came after a couple of attempts in which I tried to record this, and then I just didn't really like them. And I also recorded the Evil Swarm deck list a couple of times, but I didn't like how that turned out either. So might do the Evil Swarm deck list, because who knows, it might get its ass handed to it in the ban list, because Rescue Rabbit's in the firing line. So I'll have to see what happens. I probably will get that Evil Swarm deck list out just so it's there before the ban list comes. So yeah, that's enough lollygagging for me. I'm gonna just bugger off, drink the rest of my drink, make sure my throat does not get ripped to shreds, and then decide if I'm going to rip my throat to shreds talking about Evil Swarms. So yeah.